Power number 9. We are streaming Han Command versus Jyn Aggression here. Han Command being played by Carbon, Jyn Aggression Han Command being played by Faith, Jyn Aggression being played by Carbon. Let's see how this goes. So on the first turn, we're seeing C3PO deployed by Faith, Sabine deployed by Carbon, and Surprise Strike comes out here and defeats Sabine, and Faith guesses 3. So guesses 3 with C3PO. Choose a number, then look at the top card of your deck. If its cost is the chosen number, you may reveal and draw it. Guesses 3 and hits Ezra Bridger. So very efficient play there for Faith. Carbon brings out a Green Squadron A-Wing, and Faith is just going to take the initiative. Carbon is maybe deliberating as to whether or not to use the Tarkentown there to clear C3PO. Ends up deciding not to do it, just going to pass. Yeah. We could easily see a very buffed A-Wing here with a wing leader coming out to support it, and then potentially a snapshot reflexes as well. Weird hand here for Carbon though. Doesn't have anything really solidly there. Ends up resourcing the snapshot reflexes. All right, so start of the next turn. C3PO swings in for 1 damage to Carbon's base, misses the top deck there. I think he gets 3 again, though I'm not sure. We could see Ezra, we could see resupply, we could see a waylay on that buffed A-Wing. So yeah, Wing Leader hits the field. When played, give 2 experience tokens from their friendly rebel. Buffs the Green Squadron A-Wing. Yeah, do you just waylay this here? I think you probably do. Yeah, I think you just waylay this here. Yeah, waylay, there it is. Goes back to hand. And now we can see, actually, resources the resupply. A bit of a surprise there. Oh, but yeah, I guess he doesn't have a home 1 target. Is that right? Yeah, I don't think he has a home 1 target. That's right. He only has events there, so he probably wants to go for Unit Han this turn, who can actually defeat Chewie. Hmm. I would have, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Oh, and you know what? If he played the resupply, he couldn't bring out home 1 this turn anyway. I'm being silly. All right, so that's the question. Han, he doesn't have a great answer for this Chewbacca. Oh, he brings in R2-D2, gets to look at his top card. Leaves it on top. 2 damage there. C3PO could attack to draw that top card, but it would deal only 1 damage to Chewie, and Chewie would get to ready up. I'm not sure it would be worth it. But Faith seems to think it's worth it. Is he making that attack? Does he want the card enough to Does he want the card enough for it to be worth readying Chewie? So Chewie is a 5 cost 3/6, which is not a very good stat line. But he does have Sentinel, and when he's attacked, he readies up. He does lack the Rebel trait, though. Interesting card. Looks like Faith makes the attacks. That's going to be 1 damage to Chewie, and he will ready up. In exchange, there's a draw of a shoot first. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So, having seen a shoot first, he'll be able to use Han. He'll be able to use Han to defeat Chewie without Chewie getting another attack, and that seems probably worth it enough to be worth losing C-3PO and taking this damage on R2. Yeah, Han's ability used. Resources Ezra, that's a good call. Yeah, then he can, yeah. So he's gonna be able to, he is gonna be able to deploy Han, then use the shoot first. Han on the field. There's no answer from, there's no answer here. Yeah, shoot first, defeats that. Resource from the top of the deck becomes a temporary resource. And then we are gonna see probably the Millennium Falcon being played here and taking out the Wing Leader. Yep, there we go. Falcon takes out the Wing Leader. Very strong card. Enters play ready, 3 cost 3/4. When you ready cards during the regroup phase, either pay 1 or return this unit to her owner's hand. Let's see here. Let's see here. Lots of resources here. 7 there, but he has to get rid of 2 of them, I believe. Let's see how this goes. I said no in chat there. I was one of the players asked if the player audio was audible on stream, and I was just informing them that it's not. For those who are not familiar, my preferred style of casting these is to have myself in the same channel as the players, so I can hear what they say, but I'm muted, and I don't broadcast their audio either, because that gives me a better sense of what's going on in the game. Okay, so we see a Green Squadron A-Wing deployed here, 2 cost 1/3 with Raid 2. R2 swings in for 1 damage. Pretty basic. Another Green Squadron A-Wing played here. He voluntarily withdrew the Falcon, I think, in the hopes of being able to play Han. Oh, yeah, because by withdrawing the Falcon, it allows him to play Han this turn, but he doesn't really want to play Han this turn. What is he going to play it on? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Maybe he just wanted to get the damage. Oh, you know what? By withdrawing the Falcon, he makes it so that his opponent can't Tarkin Town it. Maybe, yeah, maybe that's what's going on there. Replays the Falcon. The Falcon can now take out an A-Wing. It will probably be removed by Tarkin Town afterwards. Jyn deploys, so now we're going to see Surprise Strike from Han to defeat Jyn. Yep, there we go. Surprise Strike from Han defeats Jyn, classic play. Jyn off the board. Temporary resource in effect, though it won't do anything. Carbon passes. Falcon takes out the A-Wing. Tarkin Town then used to defeat it. If Carbon had taken the initiative there, he would have lost the opportunity to kill the Falcon with Tarkin Town. Initiative taken by Faith. Interesting scenario here. Mace Windu available for Carbon here. In principle, Mace Windu could defeat both Han and R2, though he would likely be defeated by Unit Han if he did that. Let's see how this continues. Interesting situation. All right. Let's see here. Han solo attacks. 4 damage to the base. Temporary resource in effect, and that does mean that we could see home one hitting the field this turn. Let's see here. Ooh, there we go. Green Squadron A-Wing hits the base for 3, only for home one. Oh, and home one brings back the Falcon. That is huge value. So when played, play a heroic unit from your discard pile and it costs 3 less. So that's actually a free Falcon. That is crazy. That is super negative for Carbon, super positive for Faith. This Falcon will be able to defeat that A-Wing, and the space arena will have reversed. Oh, but we see an asteroid sanctuary. Oh, I would not have done that. Asteroid Sanctuary does exhaust the Falcon and shield the A-Wing, but it comes at the price of Carbon no longer being able to play. Maybe he had to? I'm not sure. He's no longer able to play Mace Windu, though. Oh man, that is just such a low impact turn. Only using 2 of your resources in this sort of situation. I don't think he can really afford to do stuff like that. It's looking grim here for Carbon. If I'm Faith, I think I just start going straight for the face. We do see a Waylay on home one. I don't think that's any good though, because Han can give a temporary resource and then home one can just hit the field again and play another unit from the discard. We could see, yeah, I mean we could see Akbar. We could see Akbar defeat the shield on that A-Wing maybe. We could just see Ezra or something as just another strong ground unit. We could actually see him go for unit Han to defeat Chewie instead. No, he is going for the home one replay. Home one back on the field. Plays a heroism unit from your discard pile and it costs 3 less. We could see Akbar in either knocking the shield off the A-Wing or doing 3 damage to Chewie to put him in position. Yeah, Akbar deployed, shield on A-Wing defeated, and that A-Wing can now be taken down by the Falcon this turn. Jin's ability used to have the A-Wing attack the Falcon and not die. Okay, so now if the Falcon attacks, now that if the Falcon attacks the A-Wing, it's a trade, but the Falcon just goes for the base instead. I think this is pretty over. I'm not if Carbon makes the comeback here, it's gonna be pretty amazing if Carbon makes this comeback here. That's my opinion. Let's see what's happening. Let's see what's happening here. And Carbon actually opts to concede the game here. I think the situation has become too unfavorable, so we're going to go to another round. That was game one, and it was a victory for Han over Jyn here. Let's see how things continue. Yeah, let's see here. So we are going to see Carbon lead off with Sabine Wren. Temporary. Oh, we're going to see the R2D2 C3PO combo here. So R2 and C3PO both deployed on the first turn using Han's ability. So Han can put a card from your hand into play as a resource and ready it. That is used here. And both R2D2 is played looking at the top card. And then C3PO is played guessing the cost of that card to get a free draw. That's maybe one of the strongest openings that Han can do. Gives you a free draw and sets you up for more draws. Really strong play, but we are going to see Wing Leader buffing Sabine. Nice. So with the Wing Leader giving 2 experience to Sabine, it's now going to be maybe a different story because we are in a position where Sabine can attack and defeat either of these droids in one shot. Let's see how this goes. All right, so C3PO is going to swing in for 1, going for the random draw. It guesses, not sure what he guessed here, but he missed it either way. Let's see what happens. Sabine defeats R2, dealing 1 damage to the base with her ability. On attack, you may deal 1 damage to the defender or to a base. Is used to get that bonus damage on the base here. Okay, so what are we gonna see here? Do we see Ezra? Ezra can just be defeated by Sabine. Also, Jin's ability was used there for that Sabine attack, which meant that Jyn was able to defeat, or Sabine was able to defeat R2 without taking even a single point of damage in return. Ezra does get played. I guess it's better than nothing, but I don't see that getting lasting value. Wing Leader is just a very strong card. Now, we could see Han's ability used here to play Chewbacca early. I'm not sure if it's worth it, though. Okay. Spark of Rebellion. This is a very interesting situation. Carbon plays Spark of Rebellion. Look at the opponent's hand and discard a card. He sees his opponent's Spark of Rebellion, Han Solo, and Chewbacca. He opts to get rid of the spark. I think that's actually a really good play because if Faith wants to bring Chewbacca out early, he has to get rid of this high value copy of Han Solo. But by not killing Sabine, he lets Ezra get a top deck that can then be played. But it's another copy of Han. Oh no, it can't be used. He really would have liked to see something like a wing leader, a fleet lieutenant, some 3 or 4 cost unit. But see, or a resupply here would actually be sick. But seeing another copy of Han is really not what he wants. Let's see here. Sabine used with Jin's ability again to defeat a C-3PO this time without taking any damage, using her ability to deal 1 damage to the base. And we're really seeing the value of an early wing leader in this game. The 2 experience tokens that have been given to Sabine here are letting her just dominate the field. A Green Squadron A-Wing also deployed. Carbon is far ahead in this game right now. But this turn, we do get to see Han Solo probably hitting the field, and that could be big. I can only imagine that that Faith is going to go for the Han Solo combo here, where he uses Han's ability to put a card from hand into play as a resource that gets him from 5 to 6, allowing him to deploy Han. After Han attacks, he goes from 6 to 7, and then he ambushes in with Han Solo the unit and defeats Sabine or defeats Chewbacca if Chewie's been deployed. Although we could see that interfered with here. Green Squadron A-Wing hits Han's base there for 3. It's an interesting situation. I think Faith is probably behind even with this combo though, because Chewbacca can deploy on Carbon side and actually quite impair this. The Han unit will still be able to hit the field, but yeah, he's not going for it. Home 1 and he returns Ezra to hand. Or I'm sorry, not home 1, Bright Hope. And he returns Ezra to hand, drawing a card. 4 cost 2/6 Sentinel. When played, you may return a friendly non-leader ground unit to its owner's hand. If you do, draw a card. So he draws the card, drawing a shoot first. Sabine Sabine hits the base for 5. Oh, Han's ability being used. And we could see Han use shoot first here to defeat. We could see Han use shoot first here to defeat Sabine. Chewie deploys, though. That is an obstacle. Han hits the field. Pass from Carbon. I think Chewie is still impeding this plan, even with the Bright Hope. It's an interesting situation here. Han does hit Chewie. Chewie trades for Han, and then the temporary resource being used to replay Ezra. That is not how I expected this turn to go. Han met with a pretty swift defeat there, and we are going to see Jyn. I don't know. I think Carbon is far ahead in this game. The wing leader Sabine got huge value early on. It still hasn't really been answered, and Han was defeated relatively easily by Chewbacca. Let's see here. Okay, what's happening here? Sabine defeats Ezra using Jin's ability. I guess he resourced that shoot first. Shoot first actually would have been very helpful this turn to allow Shoot first would have been very helpful this turn to allow Bright Hope to take down the A-Wing there. Temporary resource used with Han. So it looks like Faith is going for the Han Solo unit play this turn for sure. Yeah, and that actually makes sense. The shoot first is like a useful card, but if you're really trying to hit that 7 drop, then I think that's a weaker situation. The thing is though, Han Solo the unit here isn't actually that strong. Carbon can just hit him with Jin and then defeat him with Tarkin Town. Han, the unit arrives and defeats Sabine. That wing leadered Sabine finally off the board, but I think it's too late for Faith. Faith, the player of the game, that is. Bright Hope defeats a wing leader. 2 damage. Alright, so Bright Hope clears the wing leader. We saw a rogue operative played here. Recost 2/4 with Saboteur in Raid 2. If I'm Carbon, I probably have Jin hit Han and then use Tarkin Town to defeat him. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it to leave Han on the field. Yeah, and it looks like Carbon's going for it. Actually, only taking 5 damage there because of Jin's passive. Faith takes the initiative. Tarkin Town removes Han. A-Wing, Falcon. Ooh, nasty. The A-Wing and a Millennium Falcon take out Bright Hope. Faith's board is completely wiped, and I think this game is basically over. But we do see another Han Solo drawn there by Faith. Han Solo probably going to arrive here to take out Jin. That's exactly right. But does it even matter? Does it even matter? There's 10 damage on the board. Yeah, I don't think it matters. I think the game's basically over. Faith just fast rolls this by taking 10 damage already and taking the initiative. And then Chewie gets deployed. And it's game, it's over. There's there's nothing that Faith can do to clear this whole board. All right, so that's game. And we are going to go to the next round, I believe. That wing leader Sabine allowed Carbon to just take control of the early game. Faith did not have an answer, and despite the R2D2 C3PO start, which is quite strong in its own, have a good way to actually deal with Sabine, and wound up losing a lot of value, and then ultimately losing the later stages of the game as. All right, so this time, wow, what a weird scenario. Faith leads off with a spark of rebellion and takes Sabine out of Carbon's hand. Carbon plays an X-Wing. Faith just passes. We're going to see X-Wing into Wing Leader this time, I think. We could also see the Fighters for Freedom. I don't know. I think I just go for Wing Leader on the X-Wing and just get in there. I think these Wing Leader starts are just so strong if not answered. And even if like the answer is like what? He plays a waylay and the waylay removes the unit. Oh, Faith has a interesting counter there though with a energy conversion lab ambush with the Falcon. Tarkin Town then used to remove the Falcon. And now Fighters for Freedom, initiative taken by Faith. So now the wing leader can buff the Fighters for Freedom. Is Carbon really going to resource that wing? Oh, he's thinking about resourcing the wing leader because then he has a efficient four resource play with the A wing plus the asteroid sanctuary. I think you just go straight for the wing leader though. I think you just do it because he's not going to have a good asteroid sanctuary target unless his opponent plays the Falcon this turn, since there isn't going to be a ready unit on Faith's side of the board. Oh man, he actually resources me. Oh, I think he's trying to keep the asteroid sanctuary to deal with Han. It's really good if Han goes for the early seven resource. Oh man, spicy. Early resource to deploy early resource to deploy Agent Callus, but if the wing leader gets played out, the Fighters for Freedom will not be in range. That's exactly what we see. Oh man, that's wild. Wing leader comes out. Fighters for Freedom now a 5/6. That early resource Callus now really bad. Now really, really bad. So I think Faith used Han's ability and gave up a card as a temp resource for little gain. Plays Callus without ambush. Yeah, Callus no ambush since the buff fighters would just defeat him. Carbon can either deal 5 damage to the base. I think you just kill Callus here. I think you just kill Callus here. Yeah, uses Jin's ability to take one less damage, so takes 3 damage there. Still has 3 life left, and Callus off the board. Very favorable turn for Carbon. Once again, Wing Leader and All-Star card. This is just such a good card. Really one of the best cards in the game. All right, let's see how this continues. Okay, so Faith can still resource a card here. And then what are we going to see this turn? Oh, he's got a funny meme play he can do here. So one thing Faith could do here is he could actually play Leia Defiant Princess, ready a resource. That means he has 4 resources left. He then plays Bright Hope, returns Defiant Princess to hand and draws a card, and then retains her for later use. So that's actually kind of a sick play. Let's see if that's what ends up happening. The problem is, of course, that he can just kill it. Oh no, he's going for a much tamer play. Just going for the exhaust. Oh, I guess he can. Oh, you know what? He can actually still. Oh no, he's just gonna claim. Okay, so he's not going for big play. Not going for big plays this turn. Not going for big plays this turn. Maybe next turn he'll do Defiant Princess. He could have used Han's ability on this Han Solo. Played the Bright Hope, returned the Defiant Princess. Draw. Oh no, he's not do. No, he is doing it. Okay, I thought he had taken the initiative. Green Squadron A-Wing, 2 cost. Yeah, uses Han's ability, Bright Hope, withdraws. Is he going to deploy Han this turn? I think you gotta deploy Han and take out the Fighters for Freedom, personally. You do take 5 damage, but you get an important enemy unit off the board. Hmm. Initiative taken. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Carbon takes the initiative, then says, wait, I can't do that. because or words to that effect, because he can't let Han enter the field and not get exhausted. So Han deploys and then ouch, punishing punishing Asteroid Sanctuary there. On the other hand, the Leia Defiant Princess that was played earlier could be replayed this turn to exhaust that Fighters for Freedom. The buffed Fighters for Freedom, probably the most relevant unit on the board right now, but the Bright Hope holding off Carbon's Air Force. Jyn does get to deploy this turn though, which could be big. Okay. Both these players are playing Chewie here. Chewbacca Loyal Companion, not actually a card that I think is all that good, but can be quite relevant against a more aggressive opponent with a lot of smaller units. I consider this kind of a sideboard card at present. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens here. Leia exhausts the Fighters for Freedom. Jyn can deploy this turn. Are we going to see an open fire or the Falcon? It's going to be the Falcon. Big Space Force here. Han hits the Han hits the base there for 4. Jyn deploys, and we're going to see Lando, I think, hitting the field. Not a commonly played card. I'm not 100% sure. Actually, no, that's Bright Hope takes out the wing leader there. Oh, Bright Hope hit by an open fire and off the board. Lando Calrissian, 6/5. When played, return up to 2 friendly resources to their owner's hands. So if we see cards like Shoot First or something that have been resourced, yeah, there's a Shoot First here. R2 Home 1, Han Solo. Man, we could see some big cards being returned. We could see some small cards being returned. Looks like he's going to take back the Shoot First. Is he going to take another card with Lando? So the downside of this ability is it does of course de-ramp you. So de-ramping here is dangerous. Um, but it might be yeah, so he takes Shoot First and Surprise Strike. Those are options that are going to allow him to deal with Sabine. Or I'm sorry, I said Sabine, but I meant Jyn. Jyn hits for 4, initiative taken, 6 damage from the space fleet there. Then it's going to be a pass. Got to get rid of a resource. Does have a change of heart that could be used here. Carbon has unfortunately drawn just 2 basic ships, but one of them is a wing leader, which could be big. Okay, so the problem, Faith really needs to deal with those Fighters for Freedom. So Lando could attack into the Fighters for Freedom and actually defeat them in one shot because of Saboteur, allowing him to pierce the shield? Are we going to see a shoot first? So here's the thing. With the Wing Leader, Lando only has 5 HP. He would actually be defeated if he attacked the Fighters for Freedom. And the Fighters for Freedom can attack and defeat him in one hit while taking no damage. I feel like Faith basically has to deal with these Fighters for Freedom one way or another at the start of this turn. He could he could kill them with Lando, or he could play the Change of Heart to take control of the unit, but I think it makes more sense to just kill them with Lando. And then the question becomes whether or not he wants to use the shoot first to keep Lando alive while doing so. I think if I'm Faith here, I shoot first to have Lando kill the Fighters for Freedom and stay alive. I think that's what I do. Well, yeah, because he can do shoot first there, then Han can potentially kill Jyn with Surprise Strike. There's definitely some options here. That Wing Leader could be a problem for Faith, though. But no, but I think he's got to clear. I think he's got to clear the Fighters for Freedom. I think it's just too much value if that unit stays alive. He takes one. I guess they forgot a Fighters for Freedom trigger, so then he added 1 damage to the base later. Yeah, he says damage from Fighters from Freedom. Okay. Yeah, so I think I shoot first with Lando on the Fighters for Freedom here. I think that's what I do. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how they play it out, though. All right. Let's see what happens here. Faith is in the tank here, as they say, calculating what to do on this turn. No, but I think I think I shoot first with Lando to kill the Fighters for Freedom through their shield because Lando has Saboteur. And that also keeps Lando on the field to cause problems for the opponent in later turns. Then can potentially do yeah, can potentially surprise strike Jyn for the kill. If Jyn buffs with the Wing Leader, then instead I have Han attack the base and change of is it worth it though? Change of heart on the Falcon? I don't think it's that worth it. I don't know. We'll have to see how this goes. But I think the shoot first plays is oh no, it's gonna be change of heart. Change of heart taking control of the Fighters of Freedom, not Fighters for Freedom. Not how I would have done it, but it is relevant. Really, really interesting. So change of heart lets you take control of it. Does he have lethal? So take control of a non-leader unit at the start of the regroup phase, its owner takes control of it. He can then just throw all this stuff at the enemy base. So that would be 5, 9, 15. He could do 17 damage to the base. Oh man, if he just he might be racing here. This is crazy. This honestly could work. This honestly could work. He could race for it. This is a very interesting situation. We're gonna have to see. It's a bold play, and we're gonna have to see how it develops. How much damage can Carbon do? He can do, but he can do 10 damage to the base and just win. I don't know. I think this is not favorable for Faith, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work, but we'll have to see. Jyn buffed by the wing leader. And does that mean there's lethal on the board now? Yeah, that's 12 damage on the base. That's game. Yeah, he's racing, but it doesn't work. The game's over. Yeah, the Air Force here can just close the game. So I don't think that's going to work out. I'm actually not sure the shoot first play would have worked either. So if you had done shoot first and killed the Fighters for Freedom, there is also still this wing leader. Yeah, so it is so Faith concedes, it is over. Yeah, so this is so he's now talking about the other play. Shoot first into the Fighters for Freedom. That is, I think, a better play. Interesting, interesting situation. I think it would have been better to go for the shoot first, Lando kills the Fighters for Freedom, use Han's ability to get a resource, and then take control of one of the space units and kill the other space. Like, take control of the Falcon to kill the A-Wing if you can. But I'm not sure it would have actually panned out like that. Yeah, now I was thinking about other options. So yeah, Han's surprise strike would have killed Jyn, but then the Fighters for Freedom could kill Lando and not die themselves because Saboteur only works while attacking, so they would just lose their shield. But then I don't know, that actually might have maybe that was actually the best. So Han surprise strike Jyn, Fighters for Freedom kill Lando. He could actually kill the Fighters for Freedom then with shoot first on Leia. So that would leave him controlling the ground arena. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that would leave him controlling the ground arena and he would take less damage on Leia. So maybe that is the best way to do it. Although if the Fighters for Freedom just go for the face, then he's in big trouble because he doesn't have a well, no, but he could kill them with Lando. Interesting situation. Interesting situation. Complicated final turn. Different options for Faith to play that out. Ultimately, wasn't able to find one that would get the win. Carbon ends up taking this match 2-1. Interesting gameplay here between Jyn Erso and Han Solo. Very interesting situation there, in my opinion. All right, so I think that's gonna do it for this one, guys. Thanks to y'all for watching. That was some gameplay featuring the new Jyn Erso leader against Han Solo here. And we will be back later with some more Star Wars Unlimited content. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.